Hello. How's everybody doing? Welcome to, I think this is going to be the regular Saturday Tech Ambrosia live stream. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Looks like levels are looking good in OBS again. Yeah, welcome back to my messy lab. How's everybody doing out there? How many folks we got so far? I see a couple of folks in the chat that I have said hello to as well. Hello, hello. We've got Dave's Vintage Apple Tech, Clarjon, hello. LGI Retro PCs, Frodo Jedi, hello. Welcome to the stream. Awesome, excellent. Thank you for letting me know. Glad I'm sounding good. Might have the streaming thing figured out. I don't know. I probably just jinxed myself. Awesome. Hello, Trans. Welcome back. Second stream in a row. You're doing great. So I have, of course, I have my water for actual hydration. It's very important. Remember to drink your water. But because so many people were upset last time that I didn't have the ambrosia, I have some ambrosia this time. And yes, it is actually drinkable. Whew. It is. It's non-toxic. I'll say that. It tastes like a kick in the face, but it's non-toxic. So, excuse me, and of course it means that I can't talk, because it's so strong. Oh, there we go. Wonderful water. So the idea for this stream is I'm in the middle of testing some graphics cards for next week's video, and I thought I'd bring y'all along for the journey. I just finished testing my 1080 Ti, my Franken 1080 Ti, that you probably saw in the video a couple of weeks ago on the 1080 Ti in 2023. And up next is this thing right behind me, which is the Radeon 6650 XT. All these, this and the Arc, all three of these are about $200 to $250, depending. Like the 1080 Ti, if you get a dual fan variant, it's about $250 on eBay right now. 6650 is about $250, and then the Intel Arc, of course, the A750, came down to $250 a few months ago. So I'm finally getting around to testing these things. They've been on my backlog for a while, and this weekend I've decided is the weekend I'm testing them. So for today's stream, I'm going to take you along with, so you can see how I test things. And we'll see how this works as a stream. Hello, Walter Cardozo, hello. Cardozo, Walter Cardozo. Welcome. I think I got your name right. Alright, so, yeah, that's the idea. Again, y'all feel free to chat. I've got the chat right over here on my screen, so I can read your responses and say hi. Hello, HC, welcome back. Welcome to stream number 2. Hopefully this is going to be the regular spot. I don't know how well this works for folks, but I think I managed to squeeze this in between all the other streamers in my little segment. Awesome. Yeah, so let me see if I can... I have a hair on my shirt. Let me see if I can get my second camera to look at the PCI Express test bench. And let's see if we can get this card installed. You know what, first, since it's pointing at the desktop, let's unbox it right here on stream. We'll do an on-stream unboxing. One sec. Hey, look at that. Alright, so 6650 XT. So this is like, I don't know what you'd call, I think AMD says this is for 1080p gaming. Yeah, they say 1080p gaming, which is funny because they say the same thing about the 6400, and I don't know if anyone knows anything about the 6400. This thing is a pile. Like, I got this specifically because it's a meme. It's such a bad graphics card. But they also take the very ballsy approach of putting good for 1080p gaming on this card, which I don't know about that. I don't know if this one will do it. This one should be fine doing 1080p, and I bet this is actually a pretty decent 1440p card as well, is my guess. But yeah, let's see if we've got any stuff in the chat. Good time slot. Awesome. Excellent. Good to know. Hello, everything's broken, Garage. Hopefully everything's not broken today. Trina, hello. Who else we got here? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. The 6500 XT would be rated as 1080p capable. It's right in between these two. It's also, I don't know about, like, that might be more of a 1080p card. I don't know about the 6400. It's under 1,000 shaders on that. Like, yeah, there are RDNA 2 shaders, but that's 768 shaders. I don't think it's going to cut it for 1080p, but I guess I'll find out. That's the video after this one, is testing that one along with a bunch of $100 cards. Like, I've got... Uh-oh. Like, I've got this one. The major problem with RX 6400, I'm going to go on a tangent here for a second. The major problem with the RX 6400 is that this is $150 new, and this is $130 used, and this is probably 2-3 times faster. It's ridiculous. This thing is a joke. This thing is an absolute joke. But that's the whole point of testing these things. So anyway, this is the 5600 XT 6GB. This is RDNA 1. It's a nice little tiny card. I like it. I played around with it a little bit, and it's not bad, honestly. So I'll put that over there. Go there. Please don't fall over. Thank you. Alright, so let's get this thing open and installed in the PCI Express test bench, and I'll start testing, show you guys what I do for testing these things. So we'll start with no tape on the bottom, so I can just flip this open. I have not opened this thing yet. Crease that cardboard. So let's see what we've got. Nothing on top. Card. Very simple. Very simple. I'm hopeful there's a manual or a quick setup guide or something. Maybe under the GPU? Oh yes, there is. Here's a quick setup guide. Ta-da! From ASRock, because this is the ASRock Challenger. Great. I mean, these days, it's pretty much all you need, really. This would be the kind of card I would recommend if you put together, like, an APU build in, you know, during the summer of crypto hell, when you couldn't buy a graphics card for less than the price of a kidney. If you put together a build like that, it's... Wow, I didn't realize this was that wide angle. Huh. Well, that's cool. If you put together a build like that, a card like this would be a perfect upgrade. Like, you just drop it in and get, I don't know, 10x performance increase or whatever. It's a great option. So we've got, yeah, pretty standard, typical packaging. Break that seal. It does not want to. Oh, it's plastic. Oh, that's gross. Hang on a sec, let me grab a knife. Incredibly, this sticker is plastic. I think it's the first time I've had one of these be plastic. Huh. Okay. So, big question is, what does $250 buy you in 2023 for a graphics card. It buys you a backplate at least. You have a flow-through cooler, which is all the rage these days. It's a pretty small card. Single 8-pin. Single 8-pin power connector there. Not bad. Hopefully low power requirements. I think that is actually a metal backplate. I believe that is actually aluminum. With the sticker on it, it felt like it was plastic. I was like, no, looks like you get yourself a graphics card. That's not bad. I'll get this plastic off of the shroud here in a sec, but not terrible. That's what 250 gets you these days. Hopefully some good gaming performance as well. This is... So since this is the RDNA 2 version of that $100, $130 5600 XT I showed you. Stick, there we go. Let's compare. Yeah, as you might expect, power requirements are the same since they're both, I believe they're both TSMC 7nm. So they both require 8-pin. Neither of them I think is going to be very power hungry. It does mean a theoretical maximum of 225 watts, 75 through the PCIe connector and 150 through the 8-pin. But judging by the size of this cooler, I've got 2 heat pipes, 3 heat pipes. There's heat pipe number 3. 3 heat pipes. I'm not expecting this to dissipate a ton of heat, which is kind of nice, honestly. You know, in the days of 600 watt 4090s, it's kind of nice to have a graphics card that's not huge and completely ridiculous. So, the plastic on the back plate had a nice little pull tab, and the plastic on the shroud does not. It's just stuck on here and folded over on the corners. See if I can get this. Here we go. So nice. There's some stickers on the fan hubs as well. Again, no pull tabs. Oh, this is riveting. Here we go. There we go. Got this one started. There's that one. This one's got one too, but it does not have a nice little bubble on the edge for me to get it started from. There we go. Alright. Babe's unboxed. Pretty small. Two slot, 2-fan cooler. It's actually 2 slots. If you look at the size of the shroud here, it is, and it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, you can see that the shroud on this is actually smaller than the 2 slots on the back. So it is an actual 2-slot cooler, not 2.5 slots or 2.25 slots. We've got some real connectivity on the back. Looks like. Huh. Yeah, no, that's HDMI. It's just got a weird plug on it. So we've got three DisplayPort and 1 HDMI. Looks good. It's a good looking little graphics card. I'll be alright with that. At least RDNA 2 has like a decent like media encoder on it. RDNA 1 even still doesn't really have a very good media encoder on it. Alright, so what do we got in the chat? Walter Cardozo, no CD. No, no CD. You're just supposed to get the drivers from the ether. I already have Radeon drivers installed on my test bench because I've been testing a bunch of Radeons. So it's probably just going to auto-install from those, but I'll make sure I update them before I do the testing. Oh yeah, the Maxsun RX 580. Yeah, no, that's not a great card these days. I don't have a Maxsun version, but this is going to show up in that $100 GPU battle. This is an XFX 590 GME, so it's basically an RX 480 with 8 gigs of VRAM. Spoiler, it's not great. The RX 480 and 580, Polaris is really past its prime these days, I think. Sadly, a lot of games, even like Deep Rock Galactic, I had to run with some resolution scale on at 1080p to get like really decent frame rates. It's real sad. I liked Polaris a lot. It was a good architecture. What else we got here? Christopher Jackson, hello. I miss when all cards were small. Yeah, no kidding, right? I believe the 6500 XT is still a PCIe X4 card. Nightmare Gamer. I think 6400 and 6500 XT are still PCIe 4X. 4 lanes. It's just a little bit less bad because it's like, I want to say it's at least 1024 shader cores. I don't remember offhand, but it's more shaders and more clocks, definitely, than the 6400. The 6400 is just pathetic. Next cards will HC. Next cards will take 4 slots. I mean, if you've seen any of the 3-slot, 4090s, they're like 3.75 slots. They effectively take 4 slots already. Question, does it have thermal pads on the inside of the back plates that actually does something? That's a great question. Let's find out. I don't think it's super essential on a card of this performance level. Well, it does not. However, there are no SMD components on the back of it. All the good stuff is on the top side of the card. So we've got a pretty big cold plate on the cooler. Looks like it hits the GPU and all the RAM. And I can see thermal pads in there for the VRMs. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera. But yeah, in here you can see right above the inductors here, there is actually a thermal pad in there. So they do have some kind of thermal contact with the cooler. So the VRM looks like it is at least cooled a little bit, which is not bad. HC, is single slot dead? Unless you're willing to pay a lot of money. Yes, single slot is dead. They still make single slot cards, single slot versions of actually very high performance cards, but they cost a lot of money because they're all professional cards these days. It's all stuff like the little Radeon Pro here. I've actually got one of the larger versions on the way. It's going to be in that cheap GPU comparison video after next. But like I've got the WX5100 coming, and it's a full-size single slot card, and so is the 7100. I think even the 9100, which is a Vega 64 in a single slot form factor. And NVIDIA's been producing these as well. The Quadro A series, the Quadro RTX series, I think there are single slot versions of basically up to like the 3080 in Quadro form. Obviously with clocks cut and total board power cut because you've only got a single slot cooler. But yeah, no, single slot cards still exist. They're massively expensive because they're all professional cards for workstations. Well, Clarjon, don't update your flipper over the web via your browser when you're also watching a stream, I guess? Because apparently Chrome can't handle that. Color me surprised. There's a lot of things Chrome can't handle. Oh, Nightmare Gamer left. Okay. Let me see if I can get this cam here pointed at the test bench. And we'll see if we can get this thing installed. Are you gonna tilt down enough for me to do this? Of course not. Of course not, why would you? If I put you here. How about if I put you over on the G4 Cubes monitor? Yeah, there you go. There you go. You can be happy right here. Okay. Nobody's sick, right? I didn't make anybody sick? Alright. Well, let's get this thing installed then. There you go. Oh, that's a thick backplate. Bonus points if this cable doesn't rub on the fan. I guess we'll see. There we go. Looks like that is in. Let's plug in the capture card so y'all can see it. That goes in. HDMI port. Where'd that HDMI port go? Well, there it is. Okay, I think we are ready to go. Alright, let's get y'all a view of the action. One moment, please. Okay. We have got, oh, it is using the standard VGA drivers. Here we go. That is switched over. Yes, there we go. Oh, that's 4K. I bet none of you can see that. The fans on the cooler just stopped, so that's a nice feature. It's one of the better things I think video cards have figured out these days. When there's very little load, just turn off the fans. Just turn off the fans. It's fine. All right. So let's what do we got? 40 whole minutes. We got lots of time. Let's run some 3D Mark on this thing and see what it does. Here, I'll set the display down to 1080p. There we go. Better. Let's run. I'm going to start with 3D Mark 11. Primarily, it's primarily to give the A750, the Intel Arc GPU, a bad time, because it's not great about the whole like not DirectX 12 thing. All right, let's see how this goes. This is the illustrious life of being a tech reviewing YouTuber. You get to test graphics cards. Super fun. That is going to make a bunch of noise that I'm going to turn down. So 3D Mark 11 is... It's still making a lot of noise. 3D Mark 11 is a DX11 benchmark that came out pretty much not like right with Microsoft's introduction of DirectX 11, but like pretty close. As with all of these 3D marks through the years, it's got its own little weird theme. There's its own little story that gets told through the benchmarks and the demos. And what it does is it'll run this demo. This demo doesn't count for performance, and then it'll run a bunch of game tests. Sounds good, Jess. Have a good night. Have fun. 3D Mark is overwhelming. Sorry. How's that? Better? Okay. Awesome. It's only the second stream. Just have to remember that anything that plays audio through my speakers is going to be piped straight to you guys, so... Yes, I muted the sound coming out of the test bench. Hopefully that's okay. If y'all want it, let me see if I can get it to a level that's not so bad. I don't have any preview of it, so I have no idea how things sound. Let's see if I set this here, how is this? Can you still hear something from the demo? The thing is, like, when it starts benchmarking, there's really no sound, it's just for these demos. But, you know, if you've never seen these demos before, here you go, now you're seeing them. Oh, Chaz just left. I just saw their message about the keyboard. That is actually a I'll talk about that keyboard in a second. It's a weird one. It's even weirder than the happy hacking keyboard. See if I can get this. Okay, awesome. Good to know. But yeah, like this is when I decide I'm gonna do a video game or a graphics card benchmark test. Like this is what I end up doing. I pick a couple of games and a few synthetic benchmarks and just throw in the card and see what it does. So I know, because I just finished off the 1080p, or the 1080 Ti results last, just earlier this morning. I know about what it scored on these, so it'll be interesting to see where this comes in. I can see like how these things are probably going to shape up in the games. It looks like this isn't bad. This is 3D Mark 11 Extreme, running the Extreme preset. So this is actually pretty difficult for a GPU to do. Did it just crash? It just crashed. Wow. Okay, that's not great. No, it's just loading. That took a long time to load. Oh, that's wild. Okay. Huh. Yeah, HC, yeah. The 49 is still tops. We haven't heard about anything faster from NVIDIA yet. I'll be honest, I don't really follow the data center GPU news, but I'm pretty sure ADL is going to be used in their data center products. If all the stuff that they were saying about it is true, like the instruction reordering and stuff, like that'd be a major boon to machine learning. I don't think they would keep that away. It depends, because they seem to, I don't know, they seem to kind of skip generations every once in a while for their ML products. It did play a prank on me. It was mean. Oh, when I said I was going to update the drivers too before I did these tests, but that's alright. These ones won't count. I'm not recording them anyway. I don't know if I can record this while I stream because I'm running it all on NVENC. I don't know if that would make my 3080 have a conniption fit. So far it looks like it's pretty quick, but it's actually not up there with the 1080 Ti, at least not in DX11. Which isn't really surprising. I mean, 1080 Ti is kind of a monster on older games. It's pretty close, though. That's pretty close. Okay, that's 24 FPS. That's not quite so close. The 1080 Ti did about 36 FPS in this test. Not too bad. Oh, of course, it's got to do the combined test. Running the physics test on this CPU, which is a Ryzen 9 5950X, is hilarious. Because 3D Mark 11 has no idea what to do with this thing. I don't even think it uses more than 16 threads. It's that old of a benchmark. It's very funny. Alright, so that results in that's a lot closer than I thought it would be. That is a lot closer than I thought it would be. Let me see if I can pull up, well, I'm sharing my whole screen now. Because Because it was, well, I've got the spreadsheet here. So we had 62 on the Radeon, 71 on the 1080 Ti, 59 on the Radeon, 68 on the 1080 Ti. Like that's pretty close, honestly. For what's basically a budget GPU these days, like that's not bad. That is not bad. Let's play a game on it. I'm gonna rerun these benchmarks anyway. So let's play something on this. Let's see how it does in Stray. That's a little more up its alley since it's RDNA. This is a PlayStation game, so maybe it'll do better. There we go. So, how many folks have played this game? Yeah, hoping the stats don't lead me astray. That's correct. So I'll run through. This is usually where I benchmark things, although lately I've been using Midtown because it's a little more graphically intense. This is technically... Oh, Stray is such a pretty game. It's just gorgeous. Okay, get rid of my mouse here. Use the controller. You play as a cat. And it's just a really pretty game. And the world is really unique and interesting. You play as a cat in a world full of robots. There's no people. There's a story about where the people may have gone, and you uncover it through the course of the game. But right now, you're just a cat cruising around a city full of robots, and it is just an absolutely gorgeous game. Yeah, it's a very cyberpunk style. It's that kind of ultra neon cyberpunk that I really love. It's good. I love this game. It is also a complete game, and if you can run through this if you want to if you want to finish it without 100%ing it, you can run through this game in probably 10-12 hours. There's not a lot of game to it, although probably the most fun I have with it is just exploring, because these environments are incredibly explorable. Since you're a cat, you can just jump on top of things and like get into places you could never get, like just playing a normal, third-person, first-person exploration game. Every single environment is like this. It's so good. There's just so many things you can just like cruise around and look at and jump on and jump off of. It's a lot of fun. It is a good time. So we can get onto that. There we go. So this is technically, oh shoot, this is technically a last generation game. You can play this on PS4 and PS4 Pro, but it does run best on PS5. It is an Unreal Engine 4 game, and it's pretty good on the VRAM usage. Let me see if I can get my VRAM monitor back up here. What did I put that on? There we go. So you can see like it's pretty okay on VRAM usage. We're at 8 gigs. Oh, sorry, that's 8 gigs of system RAM. I need to update these drivers. Even Afterburner doesn't know what's going on with this card. But in my testing with the 1080 Ti, this game didn't even allocate over 4 gigs of VRAM, so like you can play this on pretty much any GPU, honestly. You know, PS4 Pro is basically an RX 480, and it'll run pretty well on that, actually. You'll get, even with high graphics settings, you'll get high 40s, low 60s out of this game at 1080p on RX 480. Which is not bad. Not bad. And, you know, you can even play it on a 4 gig card. You won't run out of VRAM on it. So yeah, in my benchmarking, this is mostly just for doing like how do last gen games run on the card. And in this case, 120, 130 FPS on the 6650 XT, that's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Way more than you need to play this game. Hello, PC Sound Legacy, how you doing? I'm currently testing the, I think I just said it, the RX 6650 XT, the $250 Radeon, or thereabouts. I think it might be down to $239 US at this point. Not a bad card, 8 gigs of VRAM, RDNA 2, does ray tracing, stuff like that. Not a bad card. Oh, speaking of ray tracing, you know what I should do? This would be a great game to have ray tracing because you have these puddles that are all over everywhere, but these are just screen space puddles, unfortunately. With a good cube map. That is just cube map. Let's see if we can get a screen space effect in here. Yeah, not even screen space at this point. There's nothing going on with that reflection. That's just a cube map. Good cube map, but just a cube map. There we go. There's a screen space in there. I see that blinking. But yeah, these are not ray traced shadows or reflections or anything. There were rumors of a ray tracing update for this game. I don't know if that's ever actually going to happen or not, but it'd be pretty cool. It's a really, really beautiful game. $270 for a PS4 Pro. What would you get? This card or a PS4 Pro? I'd get this card, honestly. Like, there's a lot of good stuff you can play on PS4 and PS4 Pro, but even on a PS4 Pro, despite the improved graphics, right? Again, it's about an RX 480 in the PS4 Pro. You're really limited by, you know, the Bobcat CPUs in there. Well, it's not Bobcat, it's Jaguar. You know, the low power AMD CPUs that are in there, they're basically mobile tablet CPUs. Sure, you have 8 of them, but, you know, at the end of the day, after the CPUs do all the calculations, one of those CPUs has to send all the data over to the graphics card to have it render. And it's just not fast enough to get, like, good frame rates out of the graphics card that it has. The only reason that PS4 Pro can do 4K is because most of the time it's 4K 30, because that's all the CPUs can manage. It's 30 FPS. Yeah, funny you say that, PC Sound Legacy. I've got a 1660 Super here that's gonna show up in the $100 card battle that's coming out after this video. Yeah, there's some okay deals if you shop around. There's some okay deals on GPUs these days. $250 new for this. I wouldn't feel bad about buying this for $250 new. Like, so far it's doing very well. It's like 90% of the way to a 1080 Ti, and you get a warranty. It uses a ton less power. I can feel the heat coming off of it. It's not a whole lot. That's pretty great. Obviously, you know, HC, obviously, you'd have to have a computer to put this card in, and with the PS4 Pro, you just buy the PS4 Pro and plug it into a TV. So, like, there is that. If you're coming from absolutely nothing, there is definitely a particular one to get. if you want a game. PS4 Pro doesn't need anything additional. But as far as like what I would spend $250 on, I'd just get the graphics card. Especially if I already have a PC that's like looking for a graphics card upgrade. Also, don't forget that this game, look at how adorable this cat is. This game has a dedicated meow button. I'll turn up the game audio so you can hear it. Adorable. Adorable. I love this game a lot. It's a good game. One of my all-time faves. Alright, what else? What else should we run on this thing? What do we got? We got folks in the chat. What is going on? Sapphire R9 290X 3 gig GPU for your 2010 Mac Pro. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I mean, the thing that really killed me is, like, last year, about this time last year, AMD killed off driver support for everything pre-Polaris. So GCN, first gen, second gen, and third gen. So like the 7700 series, the 7900 series, the R9 200s and R9 300s, they dropped driver support for them all. And like, they're still good cards. They use a lot of power, but like a 280X or a 290X is perfectly capable of gaming at least 1080p today. They're still really good cards. It's just that AMD dropped them like a hot rock, and it really sucks. I think honestly they did it so that people would be pushed to buy new graphics cards, which is not a cool thing in my book. What else we got? We've got 15 minutes of the stream left. What else can I run on here? Let's see. Let's see some ray tracing. Let's see what this thing does with ray tracing. I'll run some cyberpunk on this. If it'll start. Come on, GOD. What you doing? There we go. Took a minute. They sure did. They sure did at capitalism. On the one hand, I'm really annoyed at it. On the other hand, their finances got so bad at one point that they had sold their office building and were renting it back to save some money. Like, very short term. Like, okay, fine. AMD was in dire straits for a while, I get it. But, like, come on, guys. Oh, I was using, I ran a couple of tests on it with 3D Mark 11. That's one of the older 3D Mark benchmarks. 3D Mark is a long-running series of benchmarks. Originally made by Mad Onion, now currently actually owned by UL Labs, of all people. Underwriters Laboratory owns Future Mark Incorporated, who make 3D Mark, which is a little weird, but okay. Yeah, I was just using 3D Mark 11. It's one of their legacy benchmarks. If you Google search 3D Mark legacy benchmarks, it'll take you to the legacy benchmarks page. And all the legacy benchmarks they've got there are open and free. They've got registration keys for them, so you can unlock the full pro versions. I am also going to run some of the more modern benchmarks, which are just, you just load up 3D Mark from Steam. 3D Mark is free. There are some limitations. Like, I think you get only the demo modes. Not the demo modes. You can't skip the demos if you haven't paid for 3D Mark in Steam. I don't remember. But yeah, you can do some benchmarking of your own for free using 3D Mark. I've been using it for a while. It's a very long-running benchmark series. Thank you, Clara John. Thank you very much. Alright, so let's see settings. No, I don't want to share the gameplay data. Let's see, graphics. We are on Ultra preset. Let's try Ray Tracing Medium. Let's see what this does. I'm going to leave everything else the way it is, which looks like it's going to do some FSR2. That's fine. This is at, we're at 1080p. It's probably enough for this poor machine. Let's run the benchmark, see what it does. You're welcome, Trina. Absolutely not a problem. Forty-two FPS. Honestly, that's not terrible. Well, this is at 1080p. I should run this at 1440p because then I can compare it with the 2080 Ti that I had. I don't know if anybody caught this video. I think back in February. I put together a 5600G build that used 2080 Ti for the graphics card, and I benchmarked Cyberpunk on it at the ray trace medium settings, but at 1440p. I think I'm going to run this at 1440p and see what it gets for a score. Andres, hello, welcome back. Stream number 2. We're about 10 minutes from stop, but I am testing a Radeon RX 6650 XT, which is about $250 right now. I think it might be a pretty decent value, but I'm going to pit it head-to-head against the ARC A750, which is also $250, and then my 1080 Ti, that the video that I released a couple of weeks ago, because they are blower versions about $200 and dual fan versions are about $250 or thereabouts on eBay right now. So I think it's going to be a good comparison. It should be fun to see. Okay, so I'm going to go back to settings here. Let's set this to 1440p. $2560 by 1440. Apply. What is that? Oh, let's put you full screen. How about that? Yes, actually change the resolution. Thank you. This game, I swear. You'd think by now they'd have all the bugs worked out of it, but no. It should still be on ray tracing medium. It is. Let's see what it does. Yeah, that's not bad. This is the ASRock Challenger version. I think it is the cheapest version. It is still, you know, an 8 gig card. They didn't really cheap out on anything. I unboxed it at the start of the stream. We took a good look at it. It's not bad, honestly. Like, you still get like a metal backplate. The cooler seems sufficient. Like I can feel how much heat's coming off this, and it's fine. It's a 3 heat pipe cooler, 2 fans, quite quiet compared to the rest of this machine. I mean, it's an open test bench, so I can hear every fan in it, but it's not bad. For $250, it seems like a good deal. At least right now, with the way GPUs are these days. So we're looking at, looks like high 30s for the ray trace medium at 1440p. This is of course with FSR. The 2080 Ti that I tested in that video a couple of months ago was using DLSS. Not too bad though. It sure looks good, that's for sure. So what do we got? What do we got? 33.95 FPS, yeah, so mid-30s. Not terrible, especially since ray tracing is not exactly this thing's, you know, bread and butter. So let's try one last thing here before I just jump into some gameplay. We'll end that out there. So ultra mode. So graphics set to ultra, and I'll set this back to 1080p, and this should be comparable with the 1080 Ti video that's out right now. Ultra, okay. Let's run that benchmark, see what it does. Oh, no backplate. Well, it's mostly cosmetic, but like it is also like, you know, anchored into the card, so it'll keep it from sagging. But you know, there's no SMDs on the back side of the card, so there's nothing to cool with it. So it's not really like a cooling backplate. It just looks cool. Sure, absolutely, absolutely. I think I've got. What am I currently doing for my? Can I show, Trina asks, can I show off my test bench before I end the stream? Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's right, I don't have the second camera on, I'm sorry. Yeah, all y'all are seeing is my desktop and me, sorry. Yeah, one sec. Let's finish this benchmark out and... Just about there. That's not bad. 1080p Ultra, we're looking at, I'd say high 70s, I'm gonna guess. I saw 90 FPS there at one point. Looks like probably average of mid 70s, high 70s. Maybe even 80 FPS? That's not bad at all. 86! 86.6 FPS at 1080p Ultra in Cyberpunk. That's not bad at all. That is not bad at all. Give me one sec. Okay, so, hello. Here is, this is the test bench. So this is one of my 3D printed cases. You can see I've got it flipped over on its side, so it's in horizontal mode. I just have a spacer sitting there right now on the rear cooling mounter. This is a $50 AM4 motherboard. It's an Asus. Is it an Asus? I think it's an Asus A320. It is an A320. I don't remember if it's an Asus or an MSI. But I'm running a 5950X in it because I originally bought it for my main PC to like do, you know, content creation and video editing. And it turned out I didn't need a 5950X to do content creation and video editing. Because none of the programs I use more than 8 cores, which is really sad. But it is... So it's in there. I never ended up getting rid of it because I had some serious problems with it, with temperature and overheating, so I didn't want to like sell it on to somebody and have them have problems with it. So I ate that cost. It hurt. But putting it in this thing, I can actually disable half of the cores on it and just run it as an 8-core CPU. At the moment, I don't think I am. I think it's just running in 16-core mode. But it's got an air cooler on it. It's a lot happier now, for whatever reason, than it was in my big, powerful, normal PC. And it runs just fine, too. Like, you'd think, being on an A320 motherboard, it would, like, throttle its performance, but it's not that bad, actually. It does pretty well. So, with that, I've got, it's an A320 motherboard. It's got like 3 PCI slots on it. So there's a PCIe X16, and then I think there are 2 X1 slots for other things. Unfortunately, none of them are cut. None of them are cut out, so you can't put a larger card in like the 3rd slot. I may have cut that one out myself so that I could put a graphics card in the 3rd slot and run another graphics card in the 1st slot. That was the prototype graphics card that I showed you guys last stream. Because you can't boot on it because it doesn't display anything. There's no display out. So yeah, that's the test bench though. This is the machine that I've been using to test pretty much any of my graphics cards. One of the cool parts about it, and I have a video on this. If you go back into my videos and you find the one for NVIDIA Fermi, the 465 and the 580, I introduced this machine, and it has this motherboard has chipset drivers for Windows 7, which means I can totally throw like DirectX 10 graphics cards on this thing. So yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna throw like a Radeon HD 3850 on it, or 3870. Have it powered by a 16 core Ryzen. No CPU bottleneck here. But yeah, that's the test bench, and that is the, you can kind of see it. That is the 6650 XT over there. Plugged in there, happy as a clam. Yeah, seems like a decent card. It's not bad at all. So, let me... I guess I can switch back to the capture card. So yeah, this looks like it's going to be a pretty decent little card. Thank you. Thank you. It's not bad. It's turning out to be very capable. I was hoping I'd be able to test like maybe a few cards on it, but it turns out throwing a 5950X on it, it's just fine. It doesn't have any problems running anything I want to run at it. Oh. Let's see, what else we got here? Off topic, Dave asking off topic, G4 Cube working okay. I tested it before I brought it home last year. So I went up to my parents' house specifically to grab the cube last year, and my dad and I tested it, and it worked fine. It booted right up. I have not tested it since. I'm not totally sure what I'm going to do with it. I think I'm probably just going to restore it to stock condition and make sure everything in it is okay and there's no leaking caps or anything. It's had a very easy life, honestly. Like, it was my dad's main computer for a while, but it never saw any crazy upgrades. It did see a video card upgrade, not to anything really spectacular. I think just a Radeon 7000. So like I think the power supply board's probably fine in it. Obviously I want to pop it open and take a look and make sure it's okay. But yeah, so far I think it's doing okay. External power supply still kicking. I have not tried running the whole kit and caboodle, which is the monitor and the cube off of the internal power brick, because this is the famous ADC monitor. Let me pull that desktop view back up. That desktop cam view back up here. Here we go. Yeah, so what this is resting on, as Dave is alluding to, is the LUB cables, but also it was a G4 Cube CRT Studio display. So this is the 17-inch CRT Studio display. This is an ADC monitor. So this uses the Apple Display connector, and I'm so sorry it is so messy in here. But let me grab the... This uses ADC. This is the Apple Display connector, and it carries display, in this case VGA, as well as power for the display. Yes, power for a CRT over this cable with these pins, and USB in one cable, which is a slick idea, but oh my god. And I have the ADC graphics card for the Cube. I don't know if it works. I haven't tested it. I tested it with the Radeon 7000 in it. I have no idea if this whole kit and caboodle actually works. I really hope so. I'm not going to hold my breath, though. I was really hopeful that I could use that studio display for something else, as some other machine display. Like maybe plug a switcher into it and run some other stuff on it. That would have been great, but sadly. Anyway, we're just about at the end time for the stream. I hope everybody's had fun. I know it wasn't super entertaining, and I apologize for that. I think I'll think twice about just doing video card benchmarkings on stream next time. But yes, just to show everyone who joined late. Oh, it is drinkable. It is non-toxic. It tastes like a kick in the face. Whew. Gosh, I need some water. Oh, all right. Well, I hope everybody had fun. I did again. This was really great. I think this is going to be the regular stream time. So Saturdays, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. I think that's going to be the regular stream time from now on for Tech Ambrosia. So now I got to figure out what to do for next week. I think it'll be fun. It does not glow in the dark, thankfully. That glow in the dark stuff is not non-toxic. Alright everybody, I'm so glad you all joined, and I was so glad to have everyone here. Let's say, who is... Oh, come on. I do want to say goodbye one real quick sec. Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Looks good. Awesome. I hope everybody has a great day. Be kind to one another, and of course, stay out there. Stay being awesome out there, and stay safe. Alright? Everybody have a great night.